Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Fog developing out there right now, expected for the morning commute, then a cold front hits and it's going to affect your weekend. We'll talk about that and how beneficial our recent rain was. New drought monitor is in.
All right, looking forward to that. Another news now. It's been 4 months since construction work wrapped up on the St. Mary Strip. So the trucks, the barricades, they're gone. But as the night team's John Paul Barajas explains, so are the customers.
Everybody I talk to, they go, oh, the construction's done on North St. Mary's? I mean, why would they want to come down here and mess with those detours again?
But the detours are gone, and in their place is a newly paved street, wider sidewalks, bike lanes, and new lighting along the St. Mary's Strip. But Tycoon Flats co-owner Malcolm Hartman Jr. explains the days of delays, roadblocks, and headaches are still cemented in customers' minds.
There's so much to offer. There's so much talent. There's so much beauty in North St. Mary's. North St. Mary's has been around for a long time, and it makes me sad to know that it's quiet.
We're driving on the St. Mary's Strip, and give it a second, the ride is smooth, but businesses are still struggling to get people to walk through their doors.
Our foot traffic is down probably 50%.
When work started in March of 2021, the original end date was October of 2022. But according to the city of San Antonio, mistakes by contractors, unforeseen circumstances, and the weather pushed the project back to September of 2023, creating casualties of construction woes.
We saw the light at the end of the tunnel, but for us at that point, we're $400K in the hole from just 3 years of prolonged construction.
Aaron Pena says he was forced to close his bar, the Squeeze Box, in July. And now he fears for his peers on the Strip.
I might have been the first domino to fall, but now we see El Ojo, which is closing, I believe, in a few short weeks.
And with how business is going, Tammy Russell worries her business, Candlelight Poorhouse, could be next.
If it does not get busy, we're probably looking maybe 6 months to a year.
Now the business owners we spoke to want to drive 1 point home. The St. Mary's Strip is open.
We have a beautiful outcome of it, but we don't have the people anymore.
Don't forget about us. Come down here and check it out.
John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
St. Mary Strip is open. All right. Switching gears now, a terrifying scene played out at a Northside apartment complex last night. A man with a gun barged right through someone's front door and then killed one person inside. Happened around 11:30 last night on Patricia Drive near West Avenue. Investigators say that once the gunman got inside the home, he shot a man in the face and then killed him. And then during that time, a woman and child were hiding in a closet in that home. Now, they weren't hurt. Still, police haven't found the shooter. San Antonio firefighters got an awful surprise when they put out a fire early this morning. This fire broke out around 2 a.m. on Briggs Avenue near Somerset Road. When crews got there, the flames had consumed the home. And after they put out the fire, they went inside the home, and that's when they found a man's body. Investigators haven't yet revealed his name. Tonight, an Edwood ISD police officer is fighting for her life. That's Tina Eggleston. She was helping a driver on the road when another driver hit her. Happened Saturday night on I-35 near AT&T Parkway. Since then, Eggleston has been in a medically induced coma. Doctors actually had to drill a hole into her head to reduce her brain swelling. And the school district's police chief, Jesse Quiroga, told us that the school community very much misses her.
She truly is a model of what a public servant should be. She does put others before herself. Kids flock to her, recognize her, and she recognizes their needs.
Chief Quiroga also told us that he is not surprised that Eggleston risked her life to help someone. That's when she got hurt, and we certainly hope she gets better.
We've got to keep our community safe, and this is an opportunity to get better response time.
A safer community. That's something that we discussed in our Alamo Ranch episode of Know My Neighborhood. People in that area, if you remember, they told KSAT they were worried that the growing area didn't have enough law enforcement to patrol it. But a new substation for the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is aiming to change that. The sheriff's office opened its new temporary facility today. It's on Old Tally Road. It's in northwest Bexar County on the northwest edge of Alamo Ranch. Sheriff Javier Salazar says the facility should help deputies meet the demands of one of the fastest growing communities in this county.
Helps us get more bodies where they need to get, but additionally it gives the constituents peace of mind, and they're able to see visually results from what they've been asking for. Again, it just helps everybody to be able to get those resources out where they need to be.
So as of now, that location is temporary until the sheriff's office establishes a more permanent facility. And coming up a little later on the Nightbeat, we're going to take you to another neighborhood in San Antonio with its own specific concerns. You're going to have a look inside the Harlandale-McCullum community. That's coming up. But don't go anywhere yet. I have a question for you. So imagine this, not seeing or hearing from your child for 2 months. That's what one man says is happening to him. He says that this past Thanksgiving, he brought his daughter to San Antonio so that she could spend the holiday with her mother. He hasn't seen her since. And that father spoke with KSAT Investigates Dylan Collier, and he's trying everything to get his daughter back.
During the Thanksgiving holiday, Axel Nieves drove over 1,100 miles from Georgia to San Antonio so his 9-year-old daughter could visit her mother, his ex-wife. The court-ordered visitation did not go as planned.
On the second day after we dropped her off, her phone stopped working. It hasn't worked since.
A San Antonio Police Department incident report shows Nieves was scheduled to pick up his child at Guardian House, a neutral exchange location on San Pedro. But when the facility called his ex to confirm, she told them she would not be there. Nieves said he eventually had to make the heart-wrenching decision to return to Georgia without his child.
It is really tough. Driving home, our entire family was in disbelief about the situation. We couldn't believe that we were coming home without her.
No one appeared to be home when KSAT stopped by the ex's last known address earlier this month. We are not naming her since she has not been criminally charged. She later texted and emailed KSAT asking why we were working on a story, but didn't provide specific details about her decision to keep her daughter. An SAPD spokesman told KSAT since the girl is with her biological mother, they don't feel the child is in any danger. Quote, our detectives did feel there was enough in this case that a crime was committed.
But SAPD officers didn't arrest the mother. Since she has conservator rights in regards to her daughter, the charge of kidnapping does not apply. Instead, a felony case of interference with child custody was filed with the Bexar County District Attorney's Office late last month. A process, according to Nieves, that could add weeks or even months to his ongoing ordeal.
Nieves in 2020 was granted the right to designate his daughter's primary residence, an order that became permanent in 2021. Last year, after Nieves moved to Georgia, he was ordered by the court to bring his daughter to San Antonio to visit her mother once a month. In early December, days after the custody incident, a judge issued a writ of attachment commanding law enforcement to retrieve the child. Efforts, Nieves says, have so far been unsuccessful. January 12th, the judge temporarily amended the custody ruling to supervised visitation for the mother, starting this spring, and ordered her to surrender the child to Nieves' parents in San Antonio. The mother, according to records, was a no-show for the hearing.
The process is painstakingly difficult to navigate, and just this waiting is unbearable.
For KSAT Investigates, I'm Dylan Collier.
And here's something else. Nieves says that his daughter's school in Georgia has withdrawn her because she's just missed way too many days. A spokeswoman for the Bexar County DA's office said that she also couldn't provide any information about the case since it's ongoing. Now, a quick update to a story that we brought to you last night on the Nightbeat. Looks like things are back to normal at the Stephen M. Klaus water recycling plant. SAWS says that it made repairs after heavy rainwater flushed a massive ball of grease and debris into the equipment there at the facility. But again, things are back to normal. 10.7 million passengers. That is how many people flew through San Antonio International Airport last year, making it the airport's busiest year on record. In fact, July was the first time the airport served more than 1 million passengers. Big deal. And this year, the airport expects to be even busier. Nonstop flights have been added, including one to Europe. Condor Airlines launches its route to Frankfurt, Germany this May. Okay, but you're going to want to stay in town for this. In just a few hours before the sun comes back up, crowds of people are going to be gathering for the Cowboy Breakfast. You can enjoy breakfast tacos, coffee, live music, so much more. Goes from 5 to 10 a.m. at 142 Gembler Road. It's near Frostbank Center Drive, formerly known as AT&T Center Parkway. This is going to be the inaugural Cowboy Breakfast under the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo umbrella, which reminds us the rodeo is going to go from February 8th through the 25th. Get ready. But we still have way more to talk about tonight. We want you to stick around because episode 4 of KSAT's Know My Neighborhood series is all about a special area on the south side. After the break, we're going to bring you the highlights from Know My Neighborhood, Harlandale, McCollum.
Just wrapped up Know My Neighborhood episode 4 from Don Pedro's restaurant here in the heart of the Harlandale McCollum neighborhood. This was the liveliest Know My Neighborhood that we've had. A great crowd here.
Yeah, you bet it was. It's a neighborhood that is rooted in so much tradition, family, rivalry, which we're going to talk about in just a second. But they also face a lot of issues that so many neighborhoods face, including infrastructure. Avery Everett, you talked a lot about that with neighbors and their drainage concerns.
I mean, even before we had the past couple of days of heavy rain, there were lingering puddles. I mean, it's all across the neighborhood that people see these puddles, they see flooding. So it's been an issue for decades, and they're looking for new solutions. A big thing that they're looking for are just more drains. So the city is aware that the drainage has been an issue here. They say there have been 53 311 calls since 2003 over these concerns. So they're currently doing a project. They've already done 3, and they've identified 11 others. They just need future funding at this point.
Wow. And we talked a lot about the rivalry between Harlandale and McCollum and the fact that, you know, it's very real. You found out.
Oh, it's real. It is real. You know, we talk about how great this community is, how they come together. They're family, they're friends, except for the 1 week out of the year. And if you're wearing a Harlandale jersey, McCollum could care less. If you're wearing a McCollum jersey, Harlandale could care less. So it's like you talk about divided. It is divided. And we also found out that it doesn't matter what year you played in the Frontier Bowl. These guys always remember every single play.
Well, the fact that they could call out the play they ran back in 1988 is like, what?
Well, I love the fact I can't remember algebra or geometry, but I know what play was called.
I know what play was run. That's absolutely true. And by the way, if you did not catch our episode today at 6 o'clock, you can catch it streaming right now on all of KSAT's streaming platforms, our YouTube page, KSAT Plus, and of course on KSAT.com.
We thank this community for letting us tell their stories. They're such a big part of how we're able to do this Know My Neighborhood newscast. We'll see you next month for the next edition.
Oh, exciting stuff. They always do such a good job. And you were out there, Adam, earlier today, also eating, working the crowd there in the restaurant. Here's a live look here over our city, 54 degrees. And I have to say, if we get that shot in a few hours, you might not be able to see much, right? Because of the fog.
I think you're right on that, actually. Just give it a handful of hours and even the bright moon that we have will start to be shrouded out. So fog for the morning commute tomorrow. It could be dense in spots. Then a cold front hits tomorrow night. That's going to affect the weekend, mainly in terms of some gusty winds. And it's going to drop our morning temperatures. Afternoons won't be affected very much, but take a look at our temperature trend for the mornings. We dip back down into the upper 30s by Sunday morning, and that's where we'll be all the way into next week, Monday and Tuesday. So there will be a bit of a chill in the air, but nothing we haven't dealt with. We've dealt with a lot colder so far this winter. Tomorrow, we start the day near 50 with that fog, and then we break out into a bit of sunshine by the afternoon. Depending on exactly when that fog lifts and breaks up, that's going to have a big impact on your temperature. Obviously, if you have a few extra hours of sunshine, you'll be above 60. Otherwise, I think right around that 60-degree mark. And notice, 10% chance of showers tomorrow, highly isolated brief shower as possible later in the day. I think by and large, we're going to be dry and all the rain's going to stay farther north up in Texas. By the afternoon, right near 60 degrees. Now let's talk about some good news. This is our rainfall recap. Just since early Sunday morning, officially San Antonio International over 5.5 inches. You go east of town, Gonzales, Hallettsville, Cuero, over 7 inches of rain. That had a big impact, not just on our January records. We're going down as the second wettest January on record here in San Antonio, but also the aquifer. Up 1.7 feet today, but when you look at the numbers since Saturday, we're up 9 feet. And it's still rising. It's still responding to that rainfall. And here's another piece of good news. I love this. I'm going to step off so you can get the full effect. This is the drought monitor last week, and then I'm going to slowly fade it into the new one updated today. Now you may say, okay, that's not a huge difference, some improvements, but keep in mind, the cutoff for the data to be input into the drought monitor is 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. We had a good 2 inches of rain around San Antonio after 6 a.m. Tuesday morning, and even higher amounts, closer to 4 or 5 inches farther east of town. So next week's drought monitor on Thursday should show even more improvement. By the way, across the state, 27% of Texas now considered in drought. Here's the big picture, and we have a disturbance that gave us some of our rain. That's now up in the Midwest, and such a warm winter up there. It's actually causing rain around the Great Lakes states. Usually that would be snow this time of year, but this turned into a classic El Nino pattern, warm up north and turning rainy down here. We do have this other dip in the upper level flow. That's in New Mexico. That's going to help throw a cold front through here tomorrow night. And mainly that's going to kick up the wind for Saturday. So look at our wind gusts on Saturday morning. Right off the bat, we're talking gusts between 30 to 35 miles per hour. That'll be the case through the noon hour. Then by the afternoon and evening, as usual, the wind will start to subside. 63 Thursday afternoon, partly cloudy. Sunday, a lot of sunshine, beautiful. Chilly in the morning at 39, but then we're 65 by Sunday afternoon. And next week, a lot of sunshine, temperatures in the 60s. We can enjoy the sunny 60s guilt-free because of all the rain we just had. Speaking of rain, you know, the trees and the fences were so saturated and it was cool outside. Once that sun came out, you may have noticed the steaming trees and fences earlier this morning. Pretty cool sight out there.
Oh, that is something. Thank you. Hi, Larry.
Hello.
So I'm assuming that if you're a betting man and you have to choose between Holmgren and Wemby, you're going to go with the latter.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you're going to go with Victor Wembanyama for sure. So I'll tell you what. So last night was part 2 between Wemby and Chet, and Wemby definitely got the better of Holmgren. And in college basketball, some players from the 2-0 are very proud to be repping UTSA. Coming up. That was just one sequence between the leading NBA Rookie of the Year candidates and Wembanyama and Holmgren in big board sports. Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led all scorers last night with 32 points, but fans were at the Frost Bank Center to watch a pair of 7-foot rookies in Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren, and they did not disappoint. Wemby won the individual battle with 24 points and 12 rebounds in 28 minutes, while Chet had 17 points and 9 boards while playing 30 minutes. Wemby won the battle between Rookie of the Year candidates for sure. Victor also had 4 blocks, telling Josh Giddey there to head back to OKC. Thunder win, though, 140-114. KSAT 12 Sports' Mary Rominger has more.
The Spurs went up against one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league last night, Larry. OKC shot 45% from long range, and San Antonio struggled. But leave it to Victor Wembanyama to not back down from a challenge against fellow Rookie of the Year favorite, Chet Holmgren.
I think Victor won the challenge to me. He played great. They were in each other's face almost the whole night. That's a big challenge for Vic, and I liked it.
The way he played tonight is the way he tries to play every night. It's not because of any one individual. He plays hard, he competes, he's learning every day.
My first goal is always to win, and I don't in a game like this, I don't think about that, especially in a loss.
Wembanyama is known to bring the same energy to every game, but this one just felt different. From Frostbank Center, Mary Rominger, KSAT 12 Sports.
Thank you, Mary. So the Spurs will next host the Trailblazers tomorrow night at 8:30. The UTSA women's basketball team has a shot at making the NCAA tournament this season, and they're doing it with local talent. Several stars from the San Antonio area, including Judson alum Kira White and Still alum Sydney Love, are leading a squad with a 10-8 overall record and in the hunt for an American Athletic Conference title. And they have a lot of pride in being from the 210.
There's a lot of pride that comes with it. Like you said, I just want to make my family, my city, everybody really proud, but the next generation's coming up from San Antonio. Like, I want this to be a spot where they're like proud to go, hopefully, you know, and just being a kid growing up in San Antonio, like to know that UTSA is down the street and it's a possibility for you, like that's really cool.
I really love that UTSA is keeping local talent, because 2 years ago, this program didn't have that much eyes on it, didn't have that much attention on it. But last year, I feel like we just did better than people expected, and that brought some attention to it. So more people, more talent, more great local talent will just elevate the program. I feel like it'll make a big impact on the people in the city.
Yeah, I think that's the most rewarding thing of all, really, is that we have a lot of hometown kids that they came here to make a difference. And they now have, you know, developed a pride. You know, I'm not sure that they necessarily had it when they got here, but I think they're developing a real pride in the program, and I think they do want to make their mark, and, you know, there's opportunity for them.
Tomorrow night at 6, our Nick Mantis will tell us about the Roadrunners mantra, cash in, so make sure you don't miss it. All right, last night, Roadrunners guard Jordan Ivy Curry made this three with 2 seconds left to help the men beat Tulane 89-88 at the Convocation Center. He was 1 for 7 from downtown, but he hit the triple when it mattered the most. The Dubs snapped a 4-game slide for UTSA. Zach Collins hanging out with members of our local military after the break.
Never had aspirations to be a surgeon or a doctor, but that was pretty cool. Felt comfortable in there. Didn't think I would. I thought I'd be a lot more nervous than I was, so it was cool.
Zach Collins got to train like the military at Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston tonight. He experienced the day in the life of a military medical trainee. He was taught how to properly apply a tourniquet and participate in a mock surgery.
I had to tie a tourniquet on a mannequin. That was pretty cool. I did it with the lights on and no pressure for the first time, except for everybody looking at me, and I did all right. And then they did the simulator thing. The lights were off. There was a bunch of sounds going on. Then the pressure was on, and I did it a little better, but I got a long way to go for sure. But it was fun.
Zach also signed autographs and took pictures with service members. That's the Spurs and USAA supporting and celebrating our local military.
I love that.
Yep.
Looks like a good event. Thank you. We'll be right back.
A deadly house fire, 5 lives lost.
I love all of them so much. That day didn't feel real.
2 sisters struggling with an unimaginable tragedy.
I remember the day every single one of them was born.
For their mother, family was everything.
She did everything for us.
So I guess if we go back to Sylvia, how would you describe her?
Yeah, she's just a really cool person, and
Hear their loving memories and how they are helping them move forward by streaming the full story now.
Home was there.
You still have time to save someone's life. KSAT Community wants to get everyone involved during National Blood Donor Month. If you want to schedule your first ever donation or hey, if this is the kind of thing you do regularly, well, visit donatebloodtoday.com to schedule that donation.
Cold front hits tomorrow night. That's going to give us some cooler mornings back down into the mid-upper 30s by Sunday into early next week.
Also, watch out for that fog tomorrow morning. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.